Hi there, my name is Anna Mayo from the NielsenIQ Beauty Vertical. We're really excited to be able to unveil a report that we've been working on with Kline Research, focusing on indie beauty brands. So I'm joined today with two of our partners from Kline. I'll have them introduce themselves.
I'm Dana Kreitzer.
And I'm Karen Doskow.
Thanks so much for joining us, ladies. So Kline has a long history of predicting success in indie beauties. They've been studying this topic for over 10 years and have predicted brands such as Sol de Janeiro, Youth to the People, and Glow Recipe. For this year's report, we're so excited to be able to partner with them. NielsenIQ has provided our Omnishopper panel data, which is laying the foundation of the analysis that Kline has done. Omnishopper panel is NielsenIQ's full view into the beauty universe, measuring sales online, in-store, and brands that are selling in mass, luxury, and direct to consumers. So Dana, I'd love to hear more from you about the methodology that you use to develop this report and also how you define an indie beauty brand.
Yeah, of course. So let's first begin by talking about what components we look at when deciding which brands are indies and which brands are not. I think the most important factor is looking at autonomy. A lot of these brands still have full control, in most cases, of their creative process, their product development, as well as the business decisions they're making. In many cases, they are backed by venture capitalists and other private equity and marketing firms, but they're in no way, shape, or form influenced or owned by a larger corporate giant or cosmetic company. And then in terms of methodology, here at Kline, we really lean into our primary research techniques. So we're interviewing brands about what gives them a competitive edge in the market and key success factors for their business, and oftentimes retailers, which have a really nice perspective on the longevity of these brands and kind of what makes them tick. And recently, we've been leaning into a lot of digital tracking methods, so looking at social listening tools as well as consumer search trends to really elevate our analysis.
Well, so we know that many of you are tuning in here to hear the top insights from the report. So Karen, Dana, I'd love to hear from each of you. What was something surprising and interesting that you learned when pulling together this report?
You want to take it away?
Well, I mean, I think we learned a little bit about the life expectancy of a brand before it's acquired. It used to be 10 years ago, a brand may have been around for 12 years, even 29 years, like Dermalogica, before it was acquired. But now I think the trajectory is a little tighter in time, probably about 8 to 4 years, 5 years would be the life of expectancy, I would say. And so that was very interesting to look at.
Yeah, and I think for myself, we're seeing brands enter the market every day, right? And it becomes very easy to overlook the established brands that have really stood the test of time and still deserve our attention. And one that really stands out to Karen and I is Osea. They've been around since the 90s. Wellness and sustainability are still very much a part of their brand DNA, which are highly valued by today's consumers. And what they're doing now is really refreshing the brand and having their moment. So I think a key takeaway for us is that indie brands can still maintain relevance even after years in the market.
Yeah, I would agree with that, for sure.
Interesting. So in this report, we're highlighting 25 indie brands, but the way we get there is really interesting. So we started looking at the whole universe of indie beauty brands, thousands of brands, and we culled this down to just the top 25 that we think have the most potential to have an impact on the beauty industry for years to come. So let's talk about a few of those brands. Karen, can you share with us which brand from the report you think has the most potential for growth?
I would say Patrick Ta definitely is at the top of those that we profiled. There's a lot going on behind this brand, most notably the hiring of seasoned executives who are familiar with how to guide brands in the beauty industry. I think that's an important factor, as well as I think in the future we really expect a distribution increase for the brand. Right now, it's in Sephora, so we're looking forward to seeing distribution expansion. Anything you'd like to add on that one? Dana?
I think you covered the main elements there with Patrick Ta.
Yeah.
I think their commitment to staffing the team with experts that have vast industry knowledge is really going to help them make really unique and strategic business moves moving forward.
Yeah, and I would say the PE firm that's behind them, Stride Partners, has a lot of experience with beauty brands like Tatcha and First Aid Beauty. So,
thank you. So Dana, a question for you. We know many indie brands end up being acquired by larger companies, and many of that you've profiled in the past have. So which brand from this report do you think will be acquired next?
Great question. I think there's a handful of them. K18, though, is one that definitely comes to mind. They've been one of the most buzzed about hair care brands since Olaplex. And there's been a lot of brand virality that has attributed to their popularity among consumers, but also the hairstylists that really have an appreciation for the biotechnology-based ingredients behind their formulas. And I think we'll definitely see the brand not only expand their product portfolio, which is still very curated, but also really tap into the salon channel.
Yeah.
It's definitely one we'll keep watching.
Yeah.
So Karen, another question for you. We know many indies are started because the founder sees a gap in the market. So there's something that they wish existed that didn't. So which brand best represents to you one that's filling a need, filling a gap?
I would say Dr. Squatch for sure fulfills that need. It fulfills some unmet needs, or maybe needs men never really knew they had. It's an indies that's focused around male grooming products, which is very unique to our profiles. We hardly ever come across a brand recently that's in this male grooming category. The products are natural. But what I really, think stands out is the accessible pricing and really their marketing and merchandising, which really has a unique sense of humor, which I think...
It's very edgy.
Yeah, which I think men really gravitate towards. It's kind of quirky, like my husband. Anyway, it's great. It's a brand that's been around for a long time, and I think it really does fulfill a need in the men's grooming market.
I agree.
Thanks so much for sharing. So as I said, this report highlights 25 different brands. That was just a taste of the type of information that you'll be getting. The report highlights everything from distribution, sales numbers, but also includes primary research and industry analysis. So there's a ton of information to sift through. And of course, we're really focused on predicting those next big winners in the beauty and personal care space. So to learn more, you can reach out to either your Kline or your NielsenIQ representative, and there's a QR code on the screen that you can scan to learn more. So we hope to hear from you. Thanks again.